The European Commission has called on Cyprus to allow dozens of migrants who have been stranded in dire conditions for weeks to apply for asylum. These migrants, currently living in tents within the buffer zone that separates the Turkish-controlled north from the Republic of Cyprus, have been unable to cross into the southern part to seek asylum. Approximately 70 migrants have been stationed in the demilitarized zone, monitored by the United Nations, after Cyprus refused them entry via the so-called Green Line. Their numbers have steadily increased since late May. Originating from countries such as Somalia, Sudan, Congo, Syria, Iran, and Afghanistan, these individuals reached the area through North Cyprus via Turkey. The European Commission emphasized on Thursday that, as an EU member state, Cyprus is obligated to provide these migrants with access to asylum procedures. The possibility for any person to apply for international protection on a member state's territory, including at his border or in a transit zone, is established in EU law, a Commission spokesperson told the Cyprus Mail, noting that the situation is being closely monitored in coordination with Cypriot authorities and the UNHCR in Cyprus. However, Cyprus's Deputy Migration Minister, Nicholas Ioannidis, reiterated the government's stance that the Green Line would not be permitted as a new entry route for migrants. It is our firm position that we do not want to create a new route via the Green Line, especially now that we are not facing arrivals by sea, Ioannidis stated on Wednesday. After inspecting two asylum seeker reception centers in Kofinu and Limnos, Ioannidis also expressed the government's desire to avoid conflict with either UNFICYP or the UNHCR, as reported by the Cyprus Mail Mersawarant. He added that discussions were planned with the UN Refugee Agency to resolve the issue of those trapped in the buffer zone. Ioannidis insisted that the European Union was not applying pressure on Cyprus in this matter. The important thing is that there is no intervention from the EU in terms of pressures to Cyprus, because they understand the situation, he said. This statement triggered a strong response from KISA, a Cypriot anti-racist organization that supports migrants, which called for a clear public statement from the EU in response to Ioannidis' remarks. The Cyprus government claims to be offering assistance to the migrants in the buffer zone. However, officials, including those from the UNHCR, describe the migrants' living conditions, including those of children, as dire. British High Commissioner Irfan Siddique posted on X, formerly Twitter, late last month, stating, "Despite UN efforts, these people, including children, are living in dire conditions. An urgent solution is needed to relocate these people to more humane conditions and to allow for the processing of their asylum claims," he added. Mudassir, an Afghan man in the buffer zone, told AFP that the area was infested with a lot of snakes. Things were really difficult. He explained that he had attempted to cross the Green Line at night to seek asylum from Cypriot police, but was instead brought back to the buffer zone. "We feel hopeless in these extremely harsh conditions," he lamented. Another migrant, Lawrence from Nigeria, recounted fleeing his home country on a student visa to escape anti-LGBTQI+ discrimination. He too was stopped by Cypriot police when trying to cross and described being petrified. "At some point I just gave up on everything," Lawrence told AFP. "My dream was to finish college and have a normal life, anywhere." Similarly, Hussein Zar, an Iranian migrant, spoke to AFP in July while living in a UN tent under the scorching sun. He had hoped to enter the EU via Cyprus and start a new life in France. Zar explained that he had flown from Iran to Istanbul in May with his wife and daughter, continuing on to North Cyprus. But when they attempted to cross the Green Line, they were apprehended by police and brought to the buffer zone. "The government has blocked us in this area," said Zari. Along with others, Zaire has hired a lawyer with the assistance of the UNHCR to gain permission to file for asylum in the Republic of Cyprus. Cyprus maintains that Turkey is responsible for the migrants' asylum claims, asserting that since these individuals traveled through Turkey to reach the occupied areas, North Cyprus, it is Turkey's duty to grant them access to asylum procedures. Meanwhile, 46 migrants in the buffer zone have filed a lawsuit against the government, alleging they are being denied access to asylum proceedings and accusing the authorities of engaging in pushbacks, a practice prohibited under international law. NGOs and the UN Refugee Agency have also reported such allegations. Emilia Stravoulidou, a UNHCR public information officer, informed the Cyprus Mail that 10 people, including 4 unaccompanied minors, were subjected to a pushback on August 6th. The newspaper also reported that migrants who attempted to apply for asylum at the Pornara Reception Center, rather than the informal border, were allegedly returned to the buffer zone in unmarked vehicles. The UN has also accused Cypriot authorities of dumping migrants in the zone. When asked about the lawsuit, Ioannidis stated, "The executive authority cannot interfere in court proceedings, so a solution will be found in court." Ioannidis also revealed to Cyprus Kathimerini that the government plans to introduce significant changes to the country's migration laws, which will soon be presented to Parliament. According to Kathimerini, these reforms aim to expedite the processing of asylum applications and simplify the deportation process for those whose asylum requests are denied. Anita Dimitriou, president of the House of Representatives, reportedly assured Ioannidis that Parliament would prioritize the review and approval of these new measures, labeling the migration issue as urgent.